This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Another day, more earnings reports, and more bad news. First comes Honda, which sold 30% fewer cars in the last quarter. But guess what? That had nothing to do with tariffs in the U.S. Honda sales in North America were actually up 51%, probably because customers rushed into showrooms before those tariffs drive up prices. But sales fell 62% in Asia and 17% in Japan, and that dragged down total sales. Revenue came in at $36.2 billion, down just 1%, thanks to stronger motorcycle and power product sales. But Honda's operating profit and net profit both fell 50% because cars are where Honda really makes its money. Rivian had a tough quarter too. Sales dropped 22% compared to last year. Revenue was actually up 119%, thanks to a 726% jump in revenue from software services, which we imagine is all that Volkswagen money. But its operating profit dropped 28%, and it lost $1.6 billion, which was 13% worse than a year ago. Nonetheless, Rivian is looking forward to the launch of its R2 in the first half of next year, which is a smaller SUV that will be priced significantly below its R1. So the R2 should really help boost sales. And Lucid had mixed results. Sales were up a strong 38%, while revenue was up 29%. But its operating loss was nearly 2% lower than last year, and its net loss of $855 million was 8% lower than a year ago. Next Monday, Ford is going to share a lot more information about its new low-cost EV that's coming out of its Skunkworks program in California. Ford calls it the Model T of EVs and claims it's going to be cost competitive with Chinese electric vehicles. The Skunkworks team, which operates separately from Ford's legacy operations, developed a new EV platform which will accommodate several different body styles, or top hats to use the industry jargon. The first one will be a smallish pickup truck that will be made at Ford's Louisville plant in Kentucky. Very importantly, the Skunkworks program is not a one-off effort. Ford is moving the team into a new two-building campus with 250,000 square feet. It has a new design studio, including a VR room, a milling and fabrication shop, and new test labs. That tells us that the EVDC, or Electric Vehicle Development Center, as it's officially known, is going to be working on a lot more future EV projects.
Performance that shines, even in the rain. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Potenza tires, improved grip in wet conditions.
We keep saying that 2025 is the year of the robotaxi because step by step, they keep making progress. China is especially pushing hard to expand deployment, and it's finally starting to catch up to the US in one regard: nighttime driving. Waymo already operates 24 hours a day in Phoenix and San Francisco, but WeRide is the first company to get approval to test its robotaxis at night in China. The first 24/7 operation opened in Guangzhou in May, and WeRide just got approval to test between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. in Beijing. While currently a test, it will likely lead to an around-the-clock service in the city. Tesla's new Roadster could really suck. The automaker filed a patent for a system that features deployable skirts from the bottom of the car, which actually touch the road. Then, 4 fans are used to generate a low-pressure zone within that area, which essentially sucks the car to the road. This would allow any vehicle to have incredible grip, and many racing fans will certainly know that this is not the first sucker, or what are often called fan cars. The 1970 Chaparral 2J had Lexan side skirts and 2 fans adapted from a military tank engine driven by a single 2-stroke twin-cylinder motor to help suck the car to the racetrack. Brabham deployed a fan concept on an F1 car in 1978, the BT46B, but the team withdrew it after one race, even though it won. The designer of that car, Gordon Murray, launched his own fan car, the T50, 5 years ago, and another model, called the McMurtry Spearling, has been ripping up a few records of its own over the last few years. There's a growing number of UAW members that want to oust Shawn Fain as president of the union before next year's election. A total of 6 local UAW chapters have voted to remove Fain, which is the minimum number needed for workers to bring allegations against him to the federal monitor overseeing the union for potential punishment. Fain is accused of a lack of transparency, retaliating against board members, mismanaging funds, and he's facing criticism over layoffs at Stellantis. While the local UAW chapters were able to reach the threshold to bring allegations against Fain, turnout was relatively small. For example, Stellantis' Sterling Heights plant only had 63 of its 6,200 employees vote, and that means that the union can challenge the results on the basis of low voter turnout. Infiniti is expanding the QX80's lineup with its first ever sport trim. While it's mainly just a blacked out package, Automotive News reports that the brand is also considering making 3 limited edition variants, 2 of which will debut at the Pebble Beach Concours in a little under 2 weeks. One is said to be more rugged and off-road focused, and the other is a more bona fide performance model with 550 horsepower, an increase of 100 horsepower over the standard 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6. The third is expected to be a customized performance version that will debut at SEMA. Tire maker Firestone is celebrating its 125th anniversary, which is an amazing milestone for any brand. The company was founded by Harvey Firestone on August 3, 1900 in Akron, Ohio, and in 1988 it merged with Bridgestone, which is one of our sponsors. Firestone will celebrate at events with customers and with new product launches. And a quick trivia factoid. Did you know that Bill Ford's mother is a Firestone? The two families go all the way back to the friendship between Henry and Harvey. But that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for making Autoline a part of your day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. CSP, the composites solution partner. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And thanks to the following YouTube and Patreon members.
Developing today's vehicles, issues can happen in an instant. What good is knowing your problems without the data to solve them? Meet Wireless Neovi Cloud, your secure off-the-shelf solution, empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless Neovi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless Neovi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
At CSP, we work with OEM engineers across the country on their journeys to lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly vehicles. Learn more at thecsp.com.